And the next play at Ed Hanson's Talking Horse Theater, Talking Horse Productions, putting on A Man of No Importance. And I believe that is Ed Hanson this time. Is that right?
It is. I mean, the title explains it all, right?
A Man of No Importance. As I was reading online about this is something you've already done before at Talking Horse.
We did. We first produced this musical in 2013, and we just love it so much, and we had an opportunity to sort of reunite everybody if we mounted it again this spring. And so before we all get too old to play the various parts, we figured we better jump in and do it one more time. And, of course, we were at the old theater for that first one, and we're at the new one for this one. So this restaging is completely different, and it's just a whole fresh new look at it, and I think our audiences will love it.
So, Luke Tudball, you're going to be directing and in it, right?
Yes.
Now, did you direct it the first time around?
I did, with lots of help, of course, from... it's a very collaborative effort, really, this show. Everybody in it is really taking all the parts, as we say in the script. A lot of the characters are playing multiple people. You'll have to come and see the show to see why, but yeah, it's a collaborative thing. Everybody's in it together. It's a really fun process trying to sort of find these people and where they're coming from. And
so they play multiple. I thought the cast was pretty big anyway. I counted like 9 people that are in that. So they're playing multiple.
Large for us.
I thought so too, because I can't remember very many plays.
The show has, I believe it's either 24 or 25 characters.
Oh my!
So there are a couple of the characters who are just playing themselves. But some of the other guys are playing,
the ensemble actually works harder at times than the lead characters do because they're switching back and forth so much, and there's a lot of very quick run backstage, put on something different, and come back out as somebody brand new. So.
Sometimes it's not even run backstage.
Really?
There's a few costume changes on stage during the show.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. The other voice that you're hearing, you're saying there's a woman's voice there, Heather Bagnall. It's nice to see you. How are you?
Thank you.
So now who do you play in this role?
I play Adele. I play Adele Rice, who is, she's actually she's the out-of-towner. Everyone else is sort of part of the community, and she comes into it.
Now, were you in the first go around also?
I was.
So how's it feel to do this again?
It feels like coming home. It's such a joy, and this character is so close to my heart. This entire show is so close to my heart.
Was it easy to get the lines again?
No, I thought it would be easier than it was.
They're gone. Then they have to come back. And then it'd be like, did I remember them the right way or not? And what I remembered might not be what it was actual there, but somehow over the last 3 or so years, it got switched. Tell me about A Man of No Importance. What's the storyline?
Well, Alfie Byrne, who's the character that I play, is a middle-aged Dublin bus conductor. He works for the city bus system, and he takes tickets, and he's got this passion about Oscar Wilde and about producing theater. He runs a little community theater group called St. Imelda's Players, and while he travels with his passengers on the bus every day, he reads poetry to them or reads a story or whatever. So he's always looking to sort of open the world of these mundane people up to the idea of art and rising above the mundane and being an artistic person. And Alfie also has some personal demons. He doesn't really have relationships with people outside of his little world of riding the bus.
On the bus.
He lives with his sister, who's also unmarried. And in the course of the play, you find out a little bit more about Alfie, and I don't want to give too much of it away, but he decides he's going to produce at his theater company Oscar Wilde's place Salome, but he calls it Salome, which is the story of the princess who falls in love with John the Baptist, and then she, in order to appease her father, orders for his beheading. And so kind of all of the wheels fall off of Alfie's life in the process of trying to produce this play, because St. Imelda's is a Catholic church in a very conservative time period, 1960s, in Ireland. And so he's sort of forced to make some real choices about himself, and things just don't go well.
Luke, the variety blurb that talks about A Man of No Importance says that it is there's something touching about restrained ambitions of this minor key news show. What's that mean?
Well, it's kind of a dark horse, this show. When I first heard it a long while ago, I had seen the movie that it's based on, which stars Albert Finney actually as Alfie. And I'd always loved the music of Flaherty and Ahrens. They wrote other shows, Once on This Island and Ragtime and some other great shows. And I had sort of heard this show in passing and hadn't really thought much of it. But then when I re-listened to it, it really has some really beautiful melodies, some amazing music in it. And it's just such a wonderful story. I think the sort of, it's very understated. It's not one of those shows that's kind of out there, singing and tap dancing and, being in the limelight. It's just kind of sitting there as this gorgeous little gem, that's waiting for someone to come find it. And I think that's actually kind of how we'd like, all your listeners to sort of seek out St. James's and come and find our little gem, that's sitting.
Seek out what?
The little gem of Talking Horse Theatre.
Yeah.
On St. James.
St. James's Street.
St. James Street. Yeah, that's St. James. I thought so. Is this, Heather, comedy?
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's comedy and tragedy because it's so close to real life. I mean, these are very real people, and that line between comedy and tragedy, it's a very fine line.
There are very funny spots in it where, you just are, smiling all the way through a song or whatever, and then the basic storyline, like a lot of stories, has its darker moments and its lighter moments, and at the end, redeeming moments, and it's all about balance, and finding the balance between the comedy and the tragedy in your own life.
Sounds real. Does it feel different producing this or directing this on a different stage in a different theater than it did?
Yeah, it does. It's a really great process finding the journeys that the characters are making afresh, and putting them into this new space. It's bigger. It's got some different aspects. The entrances and the exits are different. So, and even sort of mundane things like where the curtains are and things. But actually, that's one of the brilliant things about theatre, I think, and especially about this show, is that sort of journey of discovery that you go through to find the truth of their story.
When's it playing, Ed?
We open Friday, so we're playing for 3 weekends, April 15th through the 17th, and then the 22nd through the 24th, and then finally the 29th through May 1.
And the tickets are available online, talkinghorseproductions.org.
Right. Or if they want to make a phone reservation, 573-268-1381.
Again, the theater is?
It's Talking Horse Theatre.
At?
Sometimes we say St. James.
It's at 210 St. James Street.
It's 210 St. James Street. Right.
210 St. James Street, which is near Orr Street, which is kind of in the Arts District and just to the east of that.
We're very artsy.
Very artsy.
We are very artsy.
Working out well. Man of No Importance, the next production at Talking Horse Production. You can find out more online, talkinghorseproductions.org.
And I challenge your listeners to, if this is not a show you've heard of, take a chance on it.
Yeah.
You are not going to be sorry.
All right. It sounds like it could be real. I mean, the way you described it, I could see somebody on a bus introducing bus riders to literature and art. I can see that happening in real life. Somebody
absolutely.
eccentric enough to try to do that and fulfill his life doing that. That's kind of cool. The director is Luke Tudball, and also he's going to be in it, and Heather Bagnall also in it, and then Ed Hanson, who is the man of no importance, whose name is Alfie Byrne.
Alfie Byrne.
Alfie Byrne. Thank you all for being here. I hope it goes real well.
And people are listening, and they're going, well, he's not from around here. And I see that you're currently, you and Heather are both living in New York City. On the bio, you're originally from the UK. What attracted you to doing something for Talking Horse Productions?
Well, actually, 3 years ago, or actually it was probably 4 years ago when we first started talking about it, Ed and I were at an audition together in Memphis, of all places. And
where you both fit in spectacularly well, right, with your accents?
Sure.
Yeah.
They blend. They blend.
As some of these things happen, we were having a sort of post-audition beverage, and we sort of chatted about, where you're going after this and what are our plans. And Ed had mentioned he was starting Talking Horse.
Okay.
And I said, what productions are you doing? And we sort of got chatting, and he asked me, "Oh, what's your, favorite show? What would you kind of have put into this season?" And I said, "Man of No Importance," which is going to be the show which we're doing, in a couple of weeks' time. And at the time, our company, Tasty Monster Productions, it was also just beginning, and so we sort of were in this very same sort of playing field, I suppose, and we tried to figure out, like, how are we going to do this. And to cut a long story short, it happened 3 years ago, and now we're bringing it back sort of by popular demand.
I like that. Tasty Monster Productions and Talking Horse. It sounds like if you would pit a Talking Horse and a Tasty Monster together, who would win that one? You guys are collaborating on this. The production is called Ferdinand. It's April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, so obviously it starts tonight through the weekend.
Tonight.
And so, Ed, back to you.
Okay.
You talked about your gravelly voice and how it's not going to hold up. So you get a chance to last shot. Details on this one and how people can get out there tonight.
All right. Well, the shows on Friday and Saturday nights are at 7:30. The house will open at 7. And then Sunday is a matinee, 1:30 for the doors to open, and then 2 o'clock for the show. And I do want to stress that, a lot of times with Talking Horse, our shows are more adult-oriented, and I wouldn't necessarily say that they're rated, but that they're sophisticated shows that children don't usually get. But with this one, this is a great show for families. This is a great opportunity for people to bring their family. As a matter of fact, we even have a ticket package for 2 adults and 2 kids at only $40. The regular ticket price, 13. Seniors and students are 11. So a package of 4 tickets for 40 is pretty good. And we encourage people to bring children to see theatrical productions.
Right.
Kids don't get exposed to live theater as much as they should. And we take them to movies a lot and that sort of thing, but we really are encouraging people to bring their families out to see Ferdinand.
All right, and that's this weekend over Talking Horse Production. Again, it's on St. James. It's the purple building with the oddly colored window trim. That's the voice of Ed Hanson. Luke Tudball is the feature. He gets all 50 minutes of it, no commercial breaks. And Heather Bagnall, the writer. So thank you very much. I appreciate you all being here, and good luck. I guess break a leg.